It has been an absolute roller coaster for the Dodgers as they approach the postseason, and the station isn't even close. Also, one former MVP is returning to form. My name is Ryan Bershinger. He's Beau Benson. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Dodger Zone.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, Beau, like I said, it has been a real weird sort of up and down last few months for the Dodgers. It's felt like a normal baseball season. This must be what, normal baseball fans feel like, because us as Dodger fans, we've been so spoiled because we see this incredibly talented team and we're like, hey, where's the 42-8 run? what's going on here? Sometimes they look really good, sometimes they really don't. We haven't recorded in 2 weeks now, and it is truthfully kind of hard to do just a weekly podcast on a baseball team, because things change day to day for normal baseball teams. And I think maybe that is kind of the overall lesson that we've gotten from this Dodger team thus far is, instead of extraordinary, they've looked a tad ordinary this season, which is unfortunate. However, there are definitely some bright spots and some really strong points as of late we want to get into for sure. But Beau, I think you feel the same way.
Yeah. Well, what's funny though is, like, I don't really think there's a problem with them being ordinary, because I think everybody is. There's nobody in the field this year that's just knock down, drag out, clear head and shoulders above everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Brewers have been good all year, but it kind of just feels like that's a train running on coal that's going to run out at some point. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. None of us have like crystal balls. The Phillies starting rotation is held together by paper at this point. And the Dodgers, like, for the last week, played like a team that looks like they were the team everybody thought they were going to be. How funny, like, how mad do you think you would be if you bet on the Dodgers to go over their win total?
Yeah.
Do you remember what their preseason win total was?
Was it like 99.5, or was it over 100?
It was 103.5. I wonder the odds on the under there, like, that must be insane. So whoever has a ticket for Dodgers under wins, congrats, because they're not going to win 103 games. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point. Like, I don't remember who it was. They might have been Toribio who pointed it out a few weeks ago. But every like strong contender this season has had stretches where they've looked really good and stretches where they've been really bad. Of course, with just in the NL West alone, when the Dodgers were especially struggling a couple weeks ago, when we last recorded, Monty was saying, hey, a 7-2 road trip would be good against these weak teams. And then they swiftly got swept in Baltimore and lost 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh, right? Or was it the other way around?
I think it's the other way around.
They got swept in Pittsburgh, lost 2 of 3 in Baltimore. Of course, that terrible no-hitter that turned into a loss, which was awesome. And that was really, I wanted us to record right after that episode and be like, I didn't think it could potentially ever get this low for the Dodgers, but that was an astonishing low.
Yeah.
to be at that point where you're 1 out away from a no-hitter, and not even a 1-0 game. It was 3-0, right? And they end up losing that game against an awful team. The Orioles should have been much better than they've been this season, but they're not. And we can't look at the Orioles as what they were last year. You have to look at them as what they are now, which is really bad. And that was terrible. It was a terrible series. The series in Pittsburgh prior to that, because that's right, they did get swept because they were down 2-0 in that series and then faced Paul Skeens. So of course they lost.
Yeah.
It was just an absolute mess. But at the same time, when all these things are going on, when the Dodgers were struggling like crazy, the Padres were doing the same thing. The Padres also, they got swept by the Rockies at home, right? Like right after they played the Dodgers, I believe it was the Rockies went down to San Diego and swept them.
They went. No, they played the Rockies. Rockies won 1 game there.
Okay.
But they lost 2 or 3 to the Reds.
Okay, sure.
And they got swept by the Orioles.
Team. But I could have sworn
they got swept by the Orioles.
It was the Orioles. Okay. So maybe we're just underrating the Orioles. But maybe. Yeah, no.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean, though. It's like even the Padres, who are good, are not great. There's nobody that's great in the National League. And there's especially nobody that's great in the American League. Like, the American League stinks.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I truly don't know. This is the weirdest baseball season as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
It's going to be really funny when it's like the Cubs that end up winning the World Series. Like, that's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that one.
So let's look at some of the positives, though, that have come from the Dodgers, especially these last couple weeks. And I think that looking at their bright spots right now, is the reason why they're still very much seen as favorites to win the World Series, because we've said it all year, when this team plays to their ability and plays to their talent, they're the best team in baseball. It's just a lot of times this year they haven't. We'll talk about the struggles with the bullpen and how that has really brought things down. But first off, the starting pitching as a whole has been phenomenal. This is the best starting staff the Dodgers have had in a long time. And it's really interesting looking at this starting rotation heading into the postseason in contrast to what they had last season, where they didn't know if they were going to have enough starting pitchers on the postseason roster to actually use a starting pitcher in every game, which of course they didn't, but ultimately it was fine. And so it's very weird coming into this postseason seeing like, hey, you look at this rotation where they can roll out Yamamoto in game 1, Snell in game 2, Glasnow in game 3, and truly could do any order of those 3 guys and have it be a great strategy. Then in game 4, either you have Shohei Ohtani start a playoff game, or you have Clayton Kershaw or Emmett Sheehan, who have both pitched excellently as of late. They have an abundance of starting pitching wealth, which is what this front office tried to do in the offseason by bringing in Blake Snell. This was the entire point of bringing in Blake Snell, when they already had a very strong starting rotation, but they just had a postseason where they didn't know who was going to be able to start on a day-to-day basis. So they had to overload this team with starting pitching talent in hopes that you have most of these guys healthy when the postseason comes around. Knock on wood, still got a couple weeks here, but it looks like that's going to be the case. And that bodes incredibly well. However, it does kind of break our brains a little bit, because on the flip side, the bullpen is bad. And this was not the case with the Dodgers last season, where the starting pitchers that we had last year performed well in the postseason, but the bullpen performed incredibly well. And that's what truly made the difference in the championship run. Right now, you have starters who are going 7 strong on a daily basis, which, as we've discussed, is not really seen in baseball anymore. And this rotation is constantly doing that. But then you go to the bullpen and you kind of just throw your hands up and hope for the best, because there's no real one guy that you can truly rely on day in and day out right now, and that's scary.
Just Tanner Scott.
So I've said a lot of things about the staff, but yeah, go ahead, Beau.
Just Tanner Scott. That's the only guy, man. That's the only guy you can trust.
Hey, 3 up, 3 down in the 9th inning against the Phillies on
It's-
Monday night. So you know what?
The worst part about it is you can't even argue their logic. Honestly,
Yeah.
I would rather the Dodgers spend money on relievers than trade prospects for relievers. Because, look, Duran almost blew that game for the Phillies last night. He did. I mean, he had the 9th. He blew the game.
Yeah.
Like, relievers are volatile. Like, it doesn't guarantee anything to trade for them. But you can always eat cost. Like, if Tanner Scott is just so bad that all he costs them is $50 million or whatever, that's fine. They're going to make that back in a month of Ohtani jersey sales. So it's whatever. But if him and Kirby Yates were just net zeros this year, the Dodgers would probably have like 15 more wins.
Yeah.
And they'd already have the division wrapped up. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that they've been so bad really is one thing where it's like, I feel more confident in them in the postseason because it cannot be this bad forever. It's the same thing like with Conforto. Like, he's kind of turned it around a little bit. Like, at some point, Tanner Scott is going to pitch well. Like, at some point, Kirby Yates might pitch well, but like, it can't be this bad for the entire season. There's just no way that's possible. And if that's what happens, then like, it's the same concept as like, if Ohtani, Mookie, and Freddie don't perform, then the Dodgers aren't winning anything. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. Like, if Tanner Scott blows it, like, then that's just how the season was going to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at least with Tanner Scott, you have, of course, the last couple years and the fact that he should be much better than he's been. And for like a month, he was very strong. Like, he has shown something this season to make you feel like he can turn it around. I think that's why we keep seeing him in high leverage situations, because Dave is right and the front office is right. If they're going to have a strong bullpen in the postseason, Tanner Scott needs to be a figurehead in that.
Yes.
And with Kirby Yates, he just might need to retire. Like he hasn't shown anything this year, and he's old.
No.
He might be Craig Kimbrell on the Dodgers. Like, that's kind of what he's been overall. And on one hand, it's like, prior to the season, MLB Network had him in the top 10 in relievers of all of baseball.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, you should get something from him still, because the talent was definitely still there. But on the other hand, he is an older reliever. He could just be done. And it was a 1-year deal to see, like, hey, if you've still got it, this is a great addition. If you're done, you're done. And I think
no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
If all it costs is money, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. And if he doesn't show anything for the last couple of weeks here, there's a very good shot he's not on the postseason roster. No. I think that's very likely at this point. Because it is weird to say, the Dodgers have a lot of pitchers that they could have on the postseason roster, but they also have a bullpen that is overall a weakness. So to be like, well, they've got so many guys that some guys are going to be left out, but also they're all not great. It's a weird position to be in. But Brock Stewart threw an inning of rehab today and looked good. And if he can show something in like the last week of the season, then you can put him on the playoff roster, and suddenly that's a boost. Michael Kopech has been solid in his return since injury, and for him to be anything close to what he was last postseason would be a huge boost. And then I don't know, outside of these, like, Blake Trinan's been better as of late. There's and guys like Banda has been okay overall this season. Vesia has been good, but sometimes has been hit hard. It's really a weird grab bag that we're going through in terms of what they're going to do with the bullpen. But again, the rotation is so damn good right now that it makes you feel like they've easily got a shot to win, regardless of who their opponent is.
Yeah. Which, like, I don't think they really care about winning the division. Like, they want to, obviously, but like, the Phillies are probably going to be the 2 seed. So the Dodgers are gonna be going on the road anyway. I don't think they care. Like, truly, I don't think it doesn't matter to them. I think the whole goal this entire season, just given the way injuries mounted up early, is just like, well, let's just get to the postseason and we'll see what happens. which is fine. That's a fine attitude to have when you just won the World Series. Like I understand like people want to do it, but it's very hard to do it once, let alone twice. The likelihood that they were going to repeat was so small to begin with.
Mhm.
And it's not gotten better. Like if the playoffs started today, I wouldn't pick them to win anything
Yeah.
personally. Because they've given me no reason to.
Mhm.
But I also wouldn't pick against them.
Yeah.
Like when the playoffs do start, like I think they're going to have as good a shot as anybody in the field to win again. But they've given me no reason for me to like put money on that.
Mhm.
And that's fine, honestly. Like they just won.
Yeah.
They just won, and they've shown no sign whatsoever that they're not going to continue building this team. Like if Bob Nightingale says Kyle Tucker is going to be a Dodger, then I kind of believe that to a
Mhm.
degree because Bob Nightingale knows what he's talking about with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And that spot in the outfield is a very clear need for this
Mhm.
team, extremely clear need for this team. So yeah, like I don't want to do off-season talk before the postseason even starts, but it's kind of just it is what it is at this point. Like
Yeah.
they are who they are. They're an 85 win team right now.
I think that's a good way to put it. In terms of, I wouldn't pick against them in the postseason. However, if you and I were going to do like formal playoff picks, I like. It's hard for me to see this iteration of the Phillies never winning a World Series.
I know that'd be like if they even like winning is so hard, but like even just not getting back.
Yeah.
Like you can't just not get back
because
Schwarber's going to be gone this offseason. So like they have to win at some point.
Yeah.
Or at least get back there.
I understand like losing Zach Wheeler is huge. But outside of that, like they are still an incredibly loaded offense. Their rotation is still very strong. And they have weapons in the pen. Like they're still a very complete team. I would pick them over the Brewers. I'd pick them over the Cubs. Padres, Mets, and whoever, Giants, Reds, whoever gets there. I would say.
The Mets need to miss the playoffs.
Yeah. It would be really funny.
So good.
And then outside of the American League, it's hard for me to like, as you mentioned earlier, like they're all kind of the same in terms of the contenders in the American League. They kind of blend together.
Yeah.
The Tigers played really well in the first half of the season and have been just kind of fine since then. I think. The Yankees are the Yankees, sure, but they've had their fair share of problems as well. I think the Blue Jays are talented, absolutely, but picking them.
Do you know what team has the best record in the American League right now?
I think it's the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it's the Blue Jays. Like I'm sorry, but I'm not taking that league seriously. I'm just not.
They definitely like they've got a strong rotation and they have absolute pieces on offense. But it kind of, I don't know, that feels like the Brewers. Like that's the thing. Like the Blue Jays kind of feel like the Brewers, and both of them, they're strong teams for sure. But when it comes to,
I feel like the Brewers had 80 wins when they swept the Dodgers to start the second half, and they're 91 only, but they're 91 and 59. So the Phillies are technically still very much alive.
Yeah.
For the 1 seed, the Brewers have cooled off immensely.
Well, they stopped playing the Dodgers. That was the thing.
Yeah,
like
that's really what it is.
They got a good 40 to 45 wins against the Dodgers this season. So I get it. Yeah, it really is very open. And I think that's another strong point to make in terms of why you can still have strong optimism for the Dodgers being able to win the title this year is because, as you've said, there's no real clear number one threat this season.
And there's nobody else that has the amount of guys that have been there before.
Yeah.
Than this Dodgers team. Like, not a roster out there has more guys that know what it takes to do what you need to do in October to win.
And there's also we're now in mid-September here. This is when like the miracle teams like start to get their run going, and nobody's really doing that. No. It doesn't feel like there's any sort of team of destiny that's it's like the Rangers Diamondbacks series a couple years. Like these were teams that just started to when the Padres got super hot, and there is no team that's like that right now. It feels like
the longest winning streak in the American League right now belongs to the Seattle Mariners, who have won 9 in a row.
Yeah,
to bring their record to 82 and 68. In the National League, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks with a 3-game winning streak to be 76 and 75. So yeah, like everybody is limping right now.
Yeah. The Mariners absolutely feel like a team that could be that kind of team of destiny, but they've also had their fair share of stretches where they've been straight up bad. And so I think that's kind of why, again, the teams of destiny do have those stretches, but things could change in the next couple of days. If the Mariners get up to like 12 wins in a row, then the entire league is going to be buzzing about them, and then they would fit that mold for sure. And they're more talented than like the Tigers last season when they were able to charge into the postseason and actually make a run. So the Mariners, they feel like a strong pick to actually make it out of the American League, because it is such an open contest in that league. But it's different this year in the sense of, like, there's been years past where there have been strong teams that fizzled out at the end of the year, the Dodgers, and like weren't able to get to the World Series and fall short. And then you kind of have 2 whatever teams in the World Series. This year, it feels like there's a lot of solid contenders, but no true giant.
And I think that's fair.
Yeah. And the Dodgers should be that giant. That's the thing. And so let's go back and let's look at the offense now with the Dodgers here, because as we alluded to, Mookie Betts has really returned to form. NL Player of the Week last week. He's 5 home runs in the last 2 weeks. It's more than Ohtani has. It's more than anyone else on the team. He's looked excellent in all facets of the game. He looks like old Mookie Betts, where the power is actually back. That's the big thing. Like
the fact that he's going to get to 20 home runs.
Yeah.
After everything that this season has been, like, yeah, that's insane.
He's making contact with the ball where earlier in the season those exact swings were just like dying like 5 feet in front of the track, like not even getting to the track.
It's going to be so interesting to find out what happened, what it was. And not to mention, like, it's not about his offense, but he's probably been top 3 shortstop.
Yeah.
Like in the entire league.
He leads the NL in defensive runs saved at short, which is insane. It's amazing.
Like, and should win the Golden Glove.
Yeah, he truly should. And it like passes the eye test as well. Like, he's actually like making nutty plays out there on a daily basis now. It's really impressive to watch. And it's great to see, because it was really starting to feel bleak with Mookie. Like, it was really feeling like, I don't know if we'll ever see that sort of Mookie again. And suddenly we're seeing it now at a perfect time. If this can continue for him into the postseason, that's huge.
It's huge boost.
It makes a gigantic difference. Teoscar has been hitting much better as of late. A 4-hit game in San Francisco. I think I need to attend every game for Teoscar Hernandez, because I have gone the last 2 games I have gone to this season. Teoscar is homered twice in both of those games. I believe those are his only 2 multi-homer games this season. And I have been in attendance for both of them. So you're welcome, Teo. But he's smiling again, which feels like a weird thing to say.
He got his joy back.
Like, he's actually happy again. Thank God.
Yeah. While we're talking about the offense, I was thinking on my way in today, I'm like, these shows are so much better when there's some like friction point. And both of us were like, there's not really any friction right now. Like, it is kind of just at this point, I don't want to say resignation, because who knows what could happen. But like, again, we're not going to come in here in 2 weeks when they get eliminated and like do an episode like we did when they got killed by the Padres or the Diamondbacks. Like, that's not going to happen this year. It's just going to be like, well, look, the shit happens, man. Like, it is what it is.
I know. That feels so good.
Yeah, no, it's great. The fact that probably for like the past 2 months, like, let's just say the entire summer, the fact that like Miguel Rojas was probably the best hitter overall on the team is so detrimental to like their success in October, because he is now going to make every single every time he's at the plate, his approach is going to be like he's Ohtani.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
last night, he fucked them. Like, just take a pitch, dude.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, fucking Alex Call, just walked.
Yeah.
Like, take one pitch, please.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to because Miguel Rojas is like, he goes up there thinking like, yeah, I'm fucking Miguel Rojas. What's up? And like he's thinking that, and the pitcher is thinking that, but the pitcher is thinking about it the right way. Like, fuck, dude, yes, it's Miguel Rojas. Let's get out of this shit right now. Like, that's the only complaint I really have about anything that happened. I just, his ego is insane, man. It's insane.
There's at least been a step up, because he did that last year, but when he would do that, he would ground into a double play and he would be hitting
Or a
in front
triple
of Ohtani,
play.
and then or a triple play, which did in fact happen. And just hitting ahead of Ohtani, and then it would ruin everything. At least he's getting the ball in the air on these outs now, so we still
At least
have,
you got that.
still another shot. Yeah. A couple interesting, as you said, there's not many points of contention right now with the offense, which is great, because unless Yoshinobu Yamamoto is pitching, the offense has been good. Outside of that, whenever Yamamoto pitches, the offense is just awful, and which is you feel really bad for Yoshi. Like Friday night, it was just a dreadfully slow game to watch, because while Yoshi looked fantastic on the mound, as he has all season, the offense just gave absolutely nothing against a 43-year-old Justin Verlander, or however old he is.
Fucking insane. They scored one run in that game.
Yes.
And then they scored 23 over the next 2 days.
Exactly. Yeah.
You couldn't just...
It was a perfect example of they'll have one night where you're like, oh yeah, wait, the offense is really struggling right now, and then they'll blow up over the next 2 games. And so, well, obviously you'll take that. That's 2 versus 1. It's a little bit more. However, it is just truly sad and baffling that it continues to happen whenever Yoshi's pitching.
Yeah.
I believe they showed on the broadcast that he has the worst run support in the National League, which is not a surprise. I'm surprised it's not in all of baseball. They specified NL, so somebody, I guess, has it worse than him, and to them, I apologize, because this is awful for Yoshi. But he has persevered and pitched incredibly well in spite of that. And that brings up the point. Right now, he does feel like the clear Game 1 starter in a postseason series.
Yeah.
The only concern I have with that is, they have been using this 6-man rotation, which I think is also another reason why this rotation has been as strong as they've been performing, because they are getting some extra rest in there, and it's working incredibly well for everyone. But if it's a 5-game series, and you have Yoshi go in Game 1, Game 5, he would in theory be pitching on 4 days rest rather than 5. And so it begs the question then, because Yoshi especially is one who has been really taking advantage and needing that extra day of rest.
Yeah.
So in the event of him, if they know ahead of time that he's not going to pitch on 4 days rest, that he would need 5 days rest, then wouldn't you then have him go Game 2, knowing that he's not an option for Game 5?
Yeah.
Which then I think Blake Snell is the choice then to go in Game 1. So that way it sets him up for Game 5. He has been in these situations a handful of times already. He pitches incredibly well in the postseason. He's been pitching incredibly well as of late. So I think there is a strong argument to be made to have Blake Snell go Game 1 in a Game 5 series, in a 5-game series.
A name completely omitted from a national radio show today in terms of talking about the Dodgers rotation, which was wild to me, but hey.
And then looking at the rest of the series, we would tackle a 7-game series if and when we get there. But obviously then Glasnow in Game 3, which is insane. Like Tyler Glasnow against any team's 3rd best starter, like that should be an automatic win for the Dodgers. It really should be. And then that game 4, you have a couple different options. If Clayton Kershaw is on the postseason roster, he needs to start. You're not going to use him as a reliever. No. They've not at this
I would
stage
ask
in
you
his
not
career.
to do that, please.
Yeah, it wasn't smart to do it 6 years ago. It certainly wouldn't be smart to do it right now. So that then begs the question of, do you even include Kershaw on the roster? Because if you're not going to use him as a starter in game 4, then you're not going to use him at all in a 5-game series. That is where the advantage of Shohei Ohtani especially comes in. Reason number 845 why it's wonderful to have Shohei Ohtani on your team. You could then start Ohtani in game 4. And if he's not feeling up to it, or if for whatever reason that doesn't work out, you can start Emmett Sheehan in game 4. He has pitched incredibly well. These last couple of months, he has really he's been an incredibly great bright spot. The entire rotation has been a bright spot, but for Emmett to really come into his own and to recover from the surgery and to turn into a really solid middle of the rotation piece, it's huge, and he's looked phenomenal as of late. So he absolutely deserves a playoff start, and he can also be used out of the pen. I think that's the reason why we saw on Monday night Anthony Banda as the opener and then Sheehan coming in after him in the event that either they have an opener for Sheehan, or if he is the Landon Knack role of last year where comes in and pitches 4 or 5 innings because he needs to. And that's an incredibly huge upgrade to go from Landon Knack last year to Emmett Sheehan this year in that sort of role. That's great. So then you have the possibility of, if you roll out Ohtani in game 4 as the starter, you can carry 13 pitchers. Are they then allowed to basically not include Ohtani on that list? Because I don't. There's a cap. They're capped at 13 pitchers for a roster. However, I don't know how two-way players are factored into that.
Yeah, no idea.
And when I say two-way players, it's strictly Ohtani. There's no,
it's just
no one else. There's Michael Lorenzen didn't fully pan out. And this is something I learned last week only because I never had the question asked before, and I looked into it. My family was asked this question, and they figured out the answer. And they were correct. If Ohtani is used as a reliever and then is taken out of the game as a reliever, then he's removed from the game entirely. So that is the situation that we come to if Ohtani were to be used as a reliever at any point. That's the reason why they're really not going to do it. Unless, I don't know, they're up by 10 and it's the closeout game of the series. And wouldn't it be fun? Like that's the only situation I think that Ohtani comes in relief. Otherwise, it's off the table.
If somehow there's a rule change where they finally do that thing I've been asking them to do forever, and like teams can pick players that are not in the postseason to add to their roster, and someone adds Mike Trout, and that team gets the World Series. And then when they're down 10-1 in the 9th and Mike Trout's up, then it's like, okay, let's let Ohtani go close it out. Let's do what we did in the WBC. But other than that, no. Not happening.
Yeah. So that's why if Ohtani's going to pitch at all in the postseason, it's going to be as a starter.
Yes.
So that means game 4 is the ideal scenario for that. And you've got Emmett Sheehan there as a backup bulk inning option, assuming he hadn't had to be used in any of the 3 games prior in such a role. But if you're planning on doing that, this is why I'm talking through this, because, and the Dodgers front office is great at figuring these things out. This would be why you wouldn't see Kershaw on the postseason roster, at least for a 5-game series, is because they would be planning on having Ohtani pitch game 4. And even, again, they could plan on that and then decide against it and start Emmett Sheehan. And game 4 is up against a day off if you do need a game 5, so they can feasibly use a bullpen game. Obviously, the Dodgers know how to do that in the postseason. They employed it very effectively last year. The one thing I don't think we'll see though this postseason is I don't think we'll see any sort of punt games like we saw last year. And that's because they don't, again, the starting rotation is so strong that they don't need to just have, Brent Honeywell pitch 5 innings and say, hey, sorry, Brent, just eat this one for us. Because they will actually have a starting pitcher available every game on full rest, presumably.
Knock on wood, but
yeah. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Just wrapping up a couple notes back to the offense. Of course, Will Smith had to be put on the injured list. Not ideal, not good. But as long as he's totally fine for the postseason, we're all good. However, in his stead, Ben Rortvedt has actually looked pretty damn good. And it appears that Dalton Rushing, we're recording this ahead of Tuesday night's game. It appears that Dalton Rushing is back with the team because Chucky Robinson his locker wasn't there. Hey, Chucky, good to see you get some action. All right. You had a really good bunt and then you had a not so good bunt, but you know what? We'll take the good bunt. There was a lot of bunting. A little too much bunting on Monday night for my taste.
That's National League Baseball, baby.
Yeah. I don't know. Runner on second and nobody out. I got it the first time, but then the next 2 times, maybe not. Especially with Rortvedt, because Rortvedt has been hitting the ball well. And he was the catcher for the no-hitter that didn't happen, for the other no-hitter that didn't happen. The staff clearly is very comfortable with him. And I don't know if this is a hot take, really, because I've seen other people say this. It might be common sense, but I'm going to say it as a hot take, I guess. Ben Rortvedt should be on the postseason roster over Dalton Rushing.
Yes.
From what we've seen from him in the last couple of weeks, he seems like a very competent backstop. And most importantly, he's working the staff really well, and he's giving competitive at-bats. And I don't know. He's got the dog factor. That's quite frankly just to stoop to that level.
Yeah. Well, I do feel bad for Rushing though, because it's just he's too good for AAA, but he's not getting daily at bats in the majors. So there's not really anything he can do. Yeah. He's kind of just got to stick around until Freddie retires.
Yeah.
And then he can go play first base every day. So yeah, that's probably the right thing to do, honestly. Especially considering Rushing's coming off an injury, and Will Smith, who knows? Will Smith is probably the yearly heading into the postseason injury that's going to be really annoying to deal with. But yeah, this has been awful because there's no friction here. This sucks.
Even Michael Conforto's been good.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Last night, I saw people trying to pretend they were mad about losing, and it's as soon as I see that inning go to 10, I just stop watching. I don't care what happens anymore. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's fake baseball. You'll never convince me it's real.
Yeah.
And B, they lost. I'm sorry. There's no grand failure there last night. They just lost to a team that's probably better than they are. Shit happens, man.
And they fought back. Andy Pa has ties the game
bases
with 2 outs in the 9th. That's incredible.
Yeah. They loaded the bases in the 10th, and Miguel Rojas went superhero mode.
So I think that kind of surmises where the Dodgers are at. It will be interesting to see how this series goes with the Phillies. Obviously, by the time this episode comes out, the game 2 against the Phillies will have been completed. And I think however Ohtani performs in this game against the Phillies will really dictate the way they view him as a pitcher going into the postseason. But let's wrap up with Shohei Ohtani, because we've been talking about him a lot as a pitcher, but he's going to win the MVP again, mainly because of what he's doing as a hitter. And it is blowing my mind that he's on the verge of hitting 50 home runs again. And on one hand, we're like, well, yeah, it's Shohei Ohtani, of course. On the other hand, when Ohtani did it last year, he was the first Dodger to ever do it, and he's going to do it again. That is insane. what we are witnessing with Shohei Ohtani on a daily basis. We've sung his praises. I don't know how you can't. I don't know how to put it in any other way. Like we've just what we get to witness with him is just so incredible that we're starting to take it for granted. So I think let's take a step back and realize, hey, he's going to become the second Dodger to hit 50 home runs in the season, tying Shohei Ohtani as the first Dodger to hit 50 home runs in the season. That's nuts.
The only thing I have is, we've talked about it before, but like last year was actually really annoying to have the legion of Mets fans convince themselves that Francisco Lindor was actually going to win MVP.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really happened this year because I think that Philly, while it's an East Coast market, doesn't have the same allure that the Mets, like everybody in media is a Mets fan. But like there has been kind of like, well, Schwarber can creep up and win MVPs, hitting a lot of dingers. If you look at the odds, it is Ohtani minus 50,000. Schwarber is second with plus 1900 odds. So that really just means that Vegas thinks the award is already in Ohtani's house and they're just waiting to show it off. So yes, he's going to win the MVP again. And it's going to be well deserved because he pitched fine this year. Like, to be coming off of a major elbow surgery, I have no complaints about how Ohtani's pitched. He's not had a really disaster game. Maybe he's had one bad start, I think, but like other than that, he's been really good. So yeah, thank God that he wears a Dodgers. Thank God he wears a Dodger uniform every fucking day for the next 8 years after this.
God, yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah, it's. I don't know how else to keep saying it. It's just it's so cool.
Cal Raleigh has 55 and 56 tonight. He might hit like 63.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's
and
insane.
What's nuts about that too is he's probably still not going to win MVP. Like, I don't
know. I
could see him getting a push, but like Aaron Judge's numbers are still nuts.
No, I know, and that's what's weird is like Aaron Judge is so much better than Cal Raleigh. Like it's not even close. But like, I think voters are going to crave a narrative this year, and like a switch hitting catcher, like doing anything where they can say past Mickey Mantle, like that's such easy like voter bait for the voters, especially if they're like anything like the voters that we know. That's easy voter bait. So I think it's more likely that Raleigh wins than Schwarber does.
I agree with that. And then John Heyman is gonna burn down MLB headquarters, claiming
that's right,
stupid West Coast bias at its finest.
Oh man,
no, I could see that, yeah, because I think at this point Ohtani has MVP wrapped up. Yes, Schwarber's having an excellent season, but he has 4 more home runs and like 35 more RBIs, and then Ohtani has him in every other category. So, yeah, Schwarber's played a couple other games, but he hasn't pitched in any of those, so that works against him. But literally every other batting average, on base, slugging, OPS plus, WAR, all of that goes to Ohtani, and those aren't particularly close either.
No.
And
Ohtani pitches.
Yeah, and then his pitching numbers are. In fairness, Kyle Schwarber's ERA is 0, so
yeah.
I'll give him that. No, I could see that if Cal Raleigh does end up topping 60. It is
if he hits 62, and the Mariners win the AL West. I mean, if the Mariners they've won 9 games in a row. If the Mariners finish the year with the best record in the American League, like I think that would be a slam dunk. As wrong as it would be, like, to be clear, I think Aaron Judge should win the MVP.
Yeah.
I do believe that it should just go to the best player in the league, and that's very clearly Aaron Judge. But voters, the baseball voters are all 60 plus that want to relive the glory days.
Yeah.
And they're going to see a fat catcher hitting 62 home runs and his team winning their division or with the finishing with the best record, and they're gonna be like, well, that's the best player in baseball.
All right. Well, let's I'm trying to think if there's no. Let's wrap it up here. I have one final thought. I've noticed this and I've pointed this out to you a couple times. There is a man on the Dodgers 60-day IL named Justin Jarvis. I do not think that this person is real. I am fairly certain that this is a money laundering scheme. As much, listen, we're Dodger fans. It pains me to say this, but I'm fairly certain.
I thought you were going to say we're Costco guys.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen them. I've only seen the Rizzler show up in anything as of late, which is what I support. I want the Rizzler to get as much work and attention that he can. But
yeah, no. Do you ever just stop and think though that the Rizzler is in fact just a normal American kid? Like we could go for another 20 minutes on the Rizzler, I think, so we probably shouldn't. But like I saw a video of a guy like going up to the Rizzler at a playground and just like trying to dap him up and be like, I'm a big fan of your stuff. And it's like in that moment you just see the Rizzler living his daily life, and it's like, yeah, this is just some like 10-year-old trying to swing on the monkey bars, and you got someone coming up asking him for his autograph. Like I think about that a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Like
it's a good point. It's a good point. Just imagine just going by a playground and you see a child on the swings and you're like, shit, I need his autograph.
Yeah, no, that's
hold
Rizzler,
on,
dude.
guys. I gotta take a picture of this kid. That's
you think that defense would hold up in court? Your Honor, it's the Rizzler.
You don't understand.
I had to follow him in the bathroom. I needed his autograph.
Face. Well, yeah. So I don't think Justin Jarvis is real. I think that the Dodgers are somehow using this to launder money. But he is on the 60-day IL. That means he's on the 40-man roster. At least not at the moment. He's on the 60-day IL. But if he was just some minor league pitcher, he wouldn't be on the 60-man. You have to on the 60-day anyway. The point is, he could be like a tree company. You know what I mean?
That's
like
solid.
they're just funneling money through the tree company.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's my favorite. That's such a good scandal. Oh,
dude, no. Well, I'm just sad Monty's not here when we finally get a chance to bring it up. I have to remember that.
Yeah.
When she's back, I'd love to get her thoughts on that.
For those who
pisses me off because there's nothing you can take away from them.
Yeah.
Like they haven't won anything. They don't have any draft picks. Like, okay, all you can do is send their ass back to Seattle. But even that is a net win for the league. It's bullshit.
I went to Into a Dome for the first time a couple weeks ago. I took my wife to see the Jonas Brothers. And they were Boys Like Girls opened and they were great. And the Jonas Brothers had John Legend come out, and
wow,
and he was cool. And then and 5 Seconds of Summer was their other guest, and I wasn't nearly as impressed with that one. But anyway, this was my first experience at the Into a Dome, and the arena is nice, absolutely. However,
Steve Ballmer now owns your likeness.
Yes. Steve Ballmer now has my face. They require you can't use Ticketmaster for the tickets. You have to download the Into a Dome app, which then connects to Ticketmaster to then access your tickets. And then in order to enter, they scan your face, which you then have to scan your face in the app to do it. And it didn't work for anyone. Like this is not like, on one hand, jumping through those hoops and doing that to try to enter an arena is annoying, but then also it didn't work. Like the lines were super slow because everybody gets to the front and they're like fiddling with the phone and trying to scan it and nothing's happening. And they're like, well, did you have your game face? Like the hell? Like, no, like, what is this? So yeah, I don't know. It's just shocking that Steve Ballmer
Yeah.
would make things like even more complicated and find weird
You're gonna have
ways
federal agents knocking on your door because he's gonna plant you into the aspiration board and be like, "Yeah, this was the guy."
It's definitely it's a nice arena for sure. There's you can plug in your phone charger into your seats. That's a fun perk.
Oh yeah, let the arena download all your data. For you.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
You people.
But it was so annoying. They force you to download their own app, which is in essence a Clippers app, and then you have to go to another spot in the app for just
dude,
the
and now
arena.
you're gonna get Clippers. You're gonna get Clippers emails like you get Rockies emails.
It's
fire.
Oh God, I'm
Thank
stuck.
you, technology.
It's awful. I just got an email from the Bengals today. I keep getting their emails too. So,
was it please don't? Was it please don't? Please don't kill yourself. Or
they're like,
hey,
can you play quarterback? Like, actually, they're like, hey, can you play offensive line? Because that's really hi. This is the Cincinnati Bengals. How much do you weigh?
Can you carbo load?
Yeah, just how quickly can you get to Cincinnati? And can you just kind of stand there and just push really hard? Yeah, that's good. So that was my experience with the Intuit Dome. I think I sat on the wall. I don't. The seats had the light things at the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a horrible time. I will never go there.
Yeah. It's a nice arena because it's a new one. Like it's hard to build a new arena and have it be shit. Like so it's nice. It's just very hard to get into. And now you'll see a Microsoft ad on TV and my face will be in the background.
Yep. You're gonna be in it
because all these AI background actors suddenly look like people that attended the Intuit Dome in the last year. So all right, let's wrap it up there. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. My name's Ryan Bergshinger. He is Beau Benson. Monty, yes, was not with us tonight. She's in Orlando. And I'm really fascinated to hear about what she's doing the theme park circuit this week in Orlando, including the Orlando Horror Nights. I've been to this year's already in Hollywood. I try to go every year because I actually worked at the event a couple of years. I was a zombie one year, and I was in the Terror Tram another, and so it's fun to get the guest perspective after actually working it. And I've heard that the Orlando version is much better than the Hollywood version. So we'll get Monty's thoughts on that. Maybe just her and I. We don't need to put thoughts.
Yeah, what the fuck do I know?
Also onto what Epic Universe, the new Universal Park, and a couple of the Disney parks. So I don't know how she's surviving, because she's doing every park back to back. She flew in on the red eye Sunday night and a Monday morning, went to Epcot Monday, and that's with a 3-hour time jump, and then is just doing a park every day. So I don't know. We'll see what condition Monty is in when we get back with her next week.
People are unwell.
Yeah. And we'll see what condition the Dodgers are in after facing the Phillies. And we'll see, what these next steps towards the postseason look like for the Dodgers. And hopefully that starting rotation is fully intact. So, again, for Monty, he's Beau. I'm Ryan. The Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Domo arigato, everyone. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.